What's up, boys and girls? My name is Joe, and in today's episode, let's talk about the iPhone 12. Well, to be specific, not just the iPhone 12, but the iPhone 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max. These are the newest phones coming from Apple in September or October, depending on when they will be available, depending on how the development and the manufacturing can actually happen in China during the current situation. But the thing is that we have seen some dummy units that have seen the daylight and we know what to expect. Now, these dummy units are put together from the CAD files, usually leaked CAD files, and are a representation of what these iPhones will look like come September or October. Why are these dummy units created? Well, usually case makers want to prepare for the newest iPhones well before they're announced because sales and marketing. So if they can actually get hold of the leaked CAD files, which they presume to be correct, they can already create new cases for the iPhone, so when it launches, they'll be ready, and from day one they can offer cases for these new phones, because you sure know that these phones are the hottest items every September and October. And to be specific, iPhone XR and iPhone 11 were the hottest topic in every year that they came out, being the most sold phones in the world. Anyway, what can we expect from the iPhone 12, 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max? What we see from these dummy units and what we see from these leaks is that there will be three versions of the phone, of the new iPhone. One smaller 5.4-inch version, a medium-sized 6.1-inch version, and a bigger 6.7-inch version. Now, the smaller version will be the iPhone 12. Then comes the iPhone 12 Pro and iPhone 12 Pro Max. These devices will be a new generation of iPhones. New design, new mentality, and basically what we will get this year is that the cheapest iPhone will also have an OLED screen. We'll also have an A14 chip, which is the upgraded version of the A13 chip that we have this year. It will have a wide-angle lens and a normal lens, and it will have all the benefits of iOS 14 as the other versions. So this is the first year when we're looking at the list of iPhones, if we're not looking at the iPhone SE, but iPhone 12, 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max, and basically the difference is screen size and one camera. But let me talk about that later. First of all, we have an iPad Pro-esque design. Finally, the new flat design is more 2020. It's more modern. I mean, yes, the rounded edges and the iPhone X design was nice. It was a very refreshing thing back in 2017, I believe. Yes, in 2017. But now it's quite outdated. I mean, if you look at the competition, there are beautiful phones, there are beautiful designs. I think we need this refresh also to be in line with Apple's other products. You look at a MacBook Pro and you can see it's basically the same flat edges, aluminum, beautiful. It just works. And this is what we're gonna get. But with this case, with the iPhone 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max, it's going to be a stainless steel border or flat design, while in the iPhone 12 case, it's going to be aluminum. Also, we can see from these dummy units that the buttons and everything didn't change so much, but we have an additional port on the bottom of the phone. What could that be? On the CAD files, we've seen it. On these dummy units, we see it. Could it be a smart connector? Could it be something special? Could it be a new sensor of some sort? I doubt that it's a fingerprint sensor, because I don't think Apple would go with such a side fingerprint sensor, and also it's not on the right side. Who knows? Who knows? I'm curious to see what that could be, and hopefully it's something useful. Also, what we see from these dummy units is that the iPhone 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max do not have a LiDAR scanner built in. That the iPhone 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max do not have a LiDAR scanner on this models. Well, if you're a case maker, then you don't care about how many cameras there are. You just care on how big the camera's estimated. If you're a case maker, you don't care on how many cameras there will be. So if we're looking at these dumb units from a case maker's perspective, then they didn't really care if there's 2 cameras, 3 cameras, 4 cameras. It's just the outer rim should be the perfect size so the cases would fit if there's 2, 3, or even 4 cameras on the behind. Now, we've heard that there's going to be a notch reduction. I don't believe. Maybe in the Max or Pro Max version there will be a smaller notch, but that can also be because it's a bigger phone. But what we have heard in regards to the screens is that these models will have 120 Hertz displays. This is very important because Apple has not yet touched this side in the phone business. They were one of the first people to put 120 Hertz display into an iPad Pro. And boy, if the feeling is like this with an OLED screen, oh my God, they're gonna have such an amazing success. With 120 Hertz, your content is smoother, your experience is a lot better, but they have to be very, very careful with battery life, because if they ruin their battery life with a screen like that, I don't think they're gonna do it. And I think that's why they didn't do it yet, because with OLED screens, it's especially difficult to get this number or get up to this number. Because with 60 Hertz, you're fine, you're okay. But once you start pushing it and pushing it, the battery starts to drain. Now, Apple has a solution. They've done this in the Series 5 Apple Watch with the screens that are capable of doing 1 Hertz per second. If they can use this technology, build it into the phones, and when the phones are not being used or very low quality content is being used, they have this very low refresh rate. And when you need it, you get the 120 Hertz. That could be a possibility, but that means that Apple will decide when you need the 120 and when you don't need. So you won't have really the option to change this, and that is really Apple-like. So be prepared for that. The phone will decide when you want this and not you. So I've been talking about the cameras, but I've been talking more about the design of the cameras, not the cameras itself. We've heard from numerous sources that there will be 4K 240 FPS. So slow motion, but in 4K, which is phenomenal. Now you get 1080p 240 FPS, which is fine, but I mean, MKBHD said in his video that he looks around his studio and he can barely find a camera that can do that, and those are designated cameras. Now the iPhone will be doing this by upscaling 120 FPS to 240 by interlacing the images with computational photography, and the software will be doing everything. So that's very interesting to see. I wonder how it will come out. If we know something about Apple, is that they make one of the best cameras in terms of videos. So if you're looking at mobile video content and you shoot on a phone or you shoot on an iPhone, you will see the difference. I really hope that they upgrade the wide-angle lens into a more proper version of itself. I really hope it gets nighttime photography. I really hope it gets all the glorious bells and whistles that the other 2 lenses got. I think it's one of the best things Apple put in their phones, the wide-angle lens. Maybe they could go a little bit more wider, or they could have a wide-angle lens in the front camera, or maybe 2 cameras, but then we'll never get a small notch. Anyway, in terms of price, these phones probably will be very, very amazing, and I think, and this is my personal opinion, that the iPhone 12 will be one of the best-selling phones that we've ever seen, because it hits every checkbox that a person in 2020, and we're talking about the average person, not the super tech guys like you know, the techies like me would want, but the average person who is still having an iPhone 6 or 6S and wants to upgrade but had no incentive to do so. Now they're gonna get a new design, which is always exciting. They're gonna get great cameras. They are going to get possibly 120 Hertz display, but okay, maybe not that. Still, they're gonna get a 14 chip inside, so it's going to be super fast and reliable for a lot of years. Again, for that 5-6 year period, it's going to work for them. They're going to get a smaller size, what they were used to back in the old days, what they were used to with the 5S and the SEs. And I have a lot of friends who are saying, oh my God, why can't Apple make an SE size phone with a full screen? It's going to happen. So these small details make this iPhone cost a lot cheaper. And that's the final point. And that's why it's going to be a huge success, because it's planned to cost around $650, beating the competition there and back. If we're talking about the Pro version, yes, the Pro versions will also be very, very good. You will have all this. You have the 120 Hz display and the LiDAR scanner and everything. But the Pro is a Pro, so it has to have a Pro price, which is probably $1,000, $999 and $1099. So that's where we are. These phones will come out in September, probably September. If not, then October, depending on how manufacturing can actually go on. I'm very excited. What we'll not see in these models is the introduction of the USB-C, so we'll stick with Lightning, which I'm sad about, but what can we do? Please let me know down in the comment section on what you think is gonna happen. Do you want an iPhone 12? Do you not want an iPhone 12? Let me know. Until my next video, guys, stay safe and hang loose.